Now, you had the judiciary in itself talking about online harassment, people putting out, and actually colleagues putting out, messages on social media out there that they feel are inappropriate. And in line with this, but taking a totally different dimension, in recent years, a new form of harassment has emerged in Kenya, driven by artificial intelligence. From AI-generated images to cyber stalking, hacking, creating fake social media accounts for impersonation, and even misuse in mining operations. This is a technical term. Now, these new dangers are raising serious concerns. Authorities warn that as AI technology advances, the risks to personal security and privacy are escalating. Let's hear from experts on this growing threat and how you can protect yourself. Harassment using artificial intelligence is on the rise.
We could call it a cybercrime, so to speak, because it is a crime that's perpetrated or committed through technology or computer systems. We work closely with the DCI, we work closely with the military and other agencies, but we also work closely with the judiciary. Most of these platforms are domiciled outside the local jurisdiction, so we have partnerships and collaboration with these various bodies, whether it's Meta, whether it's TikTok, Telegram, and so on and so forth, to ensure that we have kind of like a linkage between the local concerns and, collaboration with other actors out there.
Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing many industries, but is also being misused to harass, deceive, and exploit people.
Uncalled advertisements on your phone. Sometimes you find that your devices are just rebooting, like starting out on themselves, without you be interfering. For instance, you could also find that your phone sometimes get a lot of heat because memory is getting consumed. If you're using a laptop, sometimes you find that the laptop just hangs and freezes because a lot of memory is consumed. Do not click on any link that you are not sure if it is a trusted or genuine link. And not only even on social platforms, even on emails. This would lead to compromise of your devices, such as your phone. If you clicked on your computer, it will compromise your computer, deploy a malware, and then just take over your computer. It would probably, if you are in a corporate world, they would probably deploy a ransomware that would affect your entire file system. And if you are in your phone, they'll start tracking your phones. They'll start reading your messages.
AI is also being misused in illegal mining activities, with hackers using sophisticated software to extract data from vulnerable systems.
Reduce the amount of data that the application accesses on your phone. For instance, you can go to the settings and choose an application, and then just go over the settings and make sure that the application can access just a certain set of permissions. Maybe you want it to access your location, if you want it to access your camera. So you need to remove the ones that you don't want to access, because some of these permissions that you give these applications would lead into data mining and compromising your privacy. For instance, if you have guests visiting your home, when they want to use your Wi-Fi, you connect them to a different Wi-Fi that is completely segregated from your main Wi-Fi. And the same applies to work environment. For instance, if you are running within a particular domain and you have people coming into your work and sitting in the lobby and they want to browse, you should have a segregated network that hosts those kind of people, like gives them access to internet that is very limited to how much they can go deep inside the network.
The Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act 2018 criminalizes cybercrime.
Issues to do with cyber harassment, impersonation, cyber terrorism, espionage are covered in that law. For example, the publication of false information is treated at the same level as cyber terrorism. So the penalties for publishing false information is a fine of up to 5 million or 10 years imprisonment. And the public needs to know this, because there's a lot of laxity and carelessness when people are sharing information out there that they don't know, or they can't verify the authenticity of that information.
So what can you do to protect yourself?
People would use their name, for example, Lillian123. Why would you use that as your password? Don't even use your date of birth as your PIN. For even M-Pesa or even just your phone. If your smartphone has the capability of biometrics, it is also recommended that you enable the biometrics on your device. and the corporate world and the people who uses computers in their homes. When I talk about encryption, I talk about you trying to protect your files from being accessed unnecessarily, even if the computer is compromised, by putting in password on top of the file. For example, when you're using social media, you need to be really mindful of the kind of the picture that you want to post there. Some of them will be having details of your address. You don't just accept random friend requests from people you do not know, because remember, some of these social media platforms, they make you post your DOB, post your a lot of personal details.
If you find yourself a target of cybercrime or AI-enabled harassment, it is crucial to seek professional help.
You've cleaned your devices of these viruses using the antiviruses, but they're still coming up. Number two is when your phone or your computer keeps on rebooting and you're not sure what to do with it. It keeps on coming up and down and you don't know what to do with it. That is when you can now engage a professional to check on what is going on in you. Sometimes for organizations and large companies and even other people, when they are hit with ransomware, you need to seek professional help, because sometimes paying the ransom is not a guarantee that you'll get your data back.
The Communications Authority of Kenya has intensified its efforts to combat AI-enabled harassment.
So again, in 2018, the country enacted the Data Protection Act, a significant progress for this country. And the cornerstone of that act is really privacy, personal privacy, in terms of conversations, as you're saying, things that you do in private, but also privacy in terms of your images, your videos, you as a person, your personal identifiable information. How do you use that information, for example? We have people collecting personal data all over the place. That law stipulates how that data should be used. That, for example, CCTV coverage. You need to inform somebody that, for example, there's a CCTV recording in this premise, just to make sure that they're conscious about that, and also to also protect not just their personal rights, but the rights of the other person as well.
AI harassment in Kenya underscores the urgent need for stronger digital ethics, awareness, and enforcement to ensure technology is used responsibly and inclusively. Right, that is